report back on it before you
Go.
go into it. All right, this is March 4th, PaER meeting. Okay, report back on the iPad. The iPad has been ordered. Procrastination paid off because a cheaper one showed up the other day.
Yay.
So got one, snagged one for $2.99.
Yay!
Yeah, exactly. And it's gonna be within 10 days. It should be. I ordered it to the Apple store because my building doesn't have a doorman or anything, and no one's home during the day. Didn't want them to just leave it outside the door, so it's going to be showing up in the Apple store sometime next week. They say.
That's great news.
At $2.99 plus tax, which means that all the money we already collected covers the whole thing.
Covers the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's that.
Perfect.
Okay, so
Upwards.
this was my.
It's about time. Sorry, it's about time. It took months.
Yes.
I could get this.
It only took, October, December, January, February, 5 months. Quicker than things go and work in government, though.
Sorry.
May I continue?
Yes, please.
I apologize.
So the two easiest ones were range and rank choice. As should it just be rank or ranked?
Ranked.
Okay.
Although, depending on the candidates, it might be a rank choice.
So I think if we can just skip over approval for a second and just move on to the range and ranked choice, I think those are pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yep, I think so.
I mean, those two work. And I think they'll work. Obviously, the letters are whatever we decide we're voting on, just to have something in there. The approval, I discovered, as we well know, was way more difficult to get verbiage for.
Right.
And I realized after I began to tackle this that Sam had a very good point in particularly with approval, not so much with the other two, that it's going to very much depend on what we select as our what we're going to vote, ask people to vote on. And one of the best examples that I came up with in my little brain was that even if we were to choose something as generic as color, if you were to write, please, so taking this for each, please indicate whether or not you like, right? And then you have blue, green, yellow, blah, blah, blah. I personally like the color yellow, but I wouldn't want to paint my house yellow. I'd like to wear a yellow dress, but I wouldn't want to paint. So it's like, it's not a good question. It's not asked well, okay? It's also true of if you were going to choose candidates. So you have Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden all in the list, and you say pick the ones of which that you approve of. Right. For what?
Yeah.
Approve of how? The way they run their marriage. The way they. So it's It's. The question has to be very. First of all, I think specifically for approval, we need to decide first what we're going to be voting on, and then craft the question around that. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I mean, would you, because it's like for each, please indicate whether you approve of this to be our team color, or something.
Right.
It would have to be, it can't just be in the abstract.
Right. Because,
Context.
It needs context, exactly. Because if we're trying to determine the...
So you're saying generic won't work?
It's not that...
No, that makes sense, of course. I mean...
It's not that generic won't work. You could still ask about colors, but you have to...
Right, so it has to be color on the wall, not color of the taxi that hit you.
Even if it's a generic idea,
yellow.
it has to be a specific question. because if we're looking to test the accuracy of these methods and how they determine the will of the populace, we have to ask the right question.
Right.
Okay, so
So I was thinking a generic question like pick your favorite color, or is yellow your favorite color, would elicit a memory, which may not be what we're asking for. So if we're working towards determining what color we should paint the wall, we should ask explicitly what color are we going to paint this wall, not what color you prefer.
Yeah, what's your favorite color?
right.
That's what. So generic questions may not be the best
Yeah,
questions.
that makes sense. Well, that raises the question of what are we going to be testing?
Right, and it has to be the same for all things, obviously.
Yeah. But obviously for colors, the question, like for plurality is such an obvious one. What's your favorite color? Like that's
No,
That's
it
it.
can't be for plurality. What's your favorite color?
Why not?
It has to be.
Is
You're
it
given a choice of colors, and you pick which one is your favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the idea. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's a common question. I'm saying.
Right.
Like every that's like every child's favorite, like one
Right.
of their standard questions, right? What's your favorite color? So like pick one, but like what are your favorite colors?
Right,
Like
in this
pick
case,
all
right.
is like a little bit weird.
Right. But if like for a candidate, pick your favorite candidate. We think about Obama not having a birth certificate. We think about, for example, about Hillary Clinton, her cheating husband. We think about
Right,
Joe
but you
Biden
see-
and his
but you
mouth.
see, it's a-
and
it's a-
it goes
it's
off on
a-
a tangent. So
Yeah.
It's a
we think about the wrong things when we vote. Is that what you're saying? Potentially. People are
No,
not
I'm
focused on
just-
their records. People should vote on their records, not on their.
That's not my concern
Oh, okay.
for the purposes of this experiment. My concern is to get an accurate view of which of these methods. Isn't that what we're doing?
Right, we're testing the methods, right?
We're testing
Exactly,
the methods.
yeah.
So,
Right.
so,
I
so
forget.
we're testing the methods so that we can show others.
How the methods affect the choice.
Right. That how you vote is very important, not just that you vote.
Yeah.
So, I was just going to. So with the case of the do you approve question would be. Barack Obama is a perfect example, I think, because a lot of people like him personally, but they don't like his. Well, you hear about this in the news all the time. Oh, they like him personally, but they don't think he's doing a good job as president.
Yeah.
So,
Right, the polls, like,
Yeah.
how do you, right?
Yeah.
They're constantly up as far as,
right.
person,
So
right.
if we were going to ask about candidates, it was like, which of these people would you like to see serve as president? Not which of these people do you like? Or
Yeah,
which
yeah,
of these people do you
definitely.
approve of?
Definitely.
So I think we have to select a category that we're going to be voting on before we continue on. I think we're at the point where we need to do that.
Yeah.
but again, so what are we testing for?
That's what we're deciding right
Well,
now.
we want to see how a different method affects comparatively how different methods affect results.
Right.
Right? And the original idea was that what we're testing is almost inconsequential because what we actually want to see is how the method itself skews a result, right? Like
Right.
it might turn out that under plurality, people might really like blue, but under approval, it turns out the consensus option is red.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's what we want to see. That's what we're looking for. Well, that's our hypothesis: is that the method
Right.
will change results.
So does it matter if our questions elicit an emotion?
I don't know.
They don't-
I don't think it matters.
Well, we can. I mean, we can.
As long as
Obviously,
they all-
we can do a ton. We can do a ton of different ones, right, and see what happens with them. I mean, I feel like this is going to result in a lot of trial and error on our own part.
Yeah, we can do a test run. We can try it a couple of different ways. But I think right now we really need to come up with a couple of categories.
When Kay was still here, we discussed for a while like the fact that it has to be a category of things where not all things are equal, in a way, where because in politics say, people are invested in like their identification with the Republican or Democratic parties, right? And they're going to be hesitant to vote for a third party or independent candidate, say.
Yeah.
So the question would be like, well, people aren't invested like in colors. There's no, I don't know, or I can't think of. There's no kind of obvious duopoly like that in terms of just color, right? But there might be in pets, like cats and dogs are at the top of the pet totem pole, and there are other pets,
right,
but they aren't as popular.
So is that your argument for using something like colors as opposed to using something like pets?
Well, I don't know. Well, I think this was an argument that was made specifically against something like color, where it's like it's arbitrary, where there is no kind of hierarchy, there is no pre-existing kind of hierarchy of colors. Although maybe there is, for all I know, but it's not well known. Like another one would be like soda brands, like Coke and Pepsi are the duopoly of black-colored sodas. How many people are going to say RC Cola or whatever, or like Fresca or something? I don't know.
right.
But I think pets is a good one, and then I think ITSEC talked about something like at Fairvote did on ice cream flavor, and the obvious duopoly of ice cream is like chocolate and vanilla. And obviously there are other people who like strawberry, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that we have to think about that as well when we're trying to decide what we're testing.
So making sure that they're all equal, whatever we're asking, right?
Well, making sure that the category of things like almost it isn't equal, that they aren't all equally good, right? Because if it's a voting method, like not all the candidates are going to be equally good. In fact, it might be the case that they're all equally bad. It's probably much more likely that there has to be something where there is some kind of hierarchy. I don't know. That was the idea, which is why I like the thing.
So would an example of that be with using ice cream? Chocolate and vanilla, I think, are inarguably the two most favorite flavors, and then we would throw in pistachio in there, or
strawberry,
Rocky Road,
yeah,
or something that is. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Or because if you just.
Okay, so then we get a test on.
Because then you get
not so popular.
Because then the category. I mean, these categories of not all. Some categories there clearly is like a hierarchy in the category, like of ice cream, chocolate, and vanilla, or pets, cats and dogs. Politics, Democrats and Republicans. So like colors, it's not obvious to me that there is
Okay.
a kind of hierarchy. It's almost too equivalent. There is too much equivalency between the choices.
Right.
To the point that it's almost arbitrary. Maybe, I don't know.
I see. So it wouldn't matter what you vote for. In other words,
What about if we were to do something
you
like,
can't test that.
what climate would you prefer to live in?
How many climates are there?
Well,
I
let's
guess we
figure
could make
that
them up
out.
as just
We
like,
could do a
like
seasonal
tropical,
climate,
yeah,
a tropical climate,
That's an interesting
a desert climate. What else is there?
one. Tundra?
Is that a climate?
I don't know.
Antarctica? Yeah. Cold.
Yes.
All right, maybe there aren't enough climates.
No, there's
There
probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That's probably enough. But yeah.
Temperature
But I think we could.
ranges, temperature ranges.
Yeah, but I think we could do colors too. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't. I mean, we could do whatever we want, really.
So what color would you paint your house?
No, that's a better way to do it. Yeah, actually, instead of asking people in the abstract, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's a good color
What
for
color?
something?
Which of the following would you?
I like
Which
that.
of the following colors?
Color
So
would
for
be
approval, you would write. Damn it! I'm sorry. I'm swearing to the recording.
Oh, it's okay.
It's all right.
They're not censoring it yet.
and nobody's listening to them anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, you don't think.
Yeah, except for the NSA.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry,
It's okay.
Stefan. God, I've kicked him now 3 times. All right, so it would be
Your house.
for each, please. What are we writing?
So what color would you paint your house?
No,
That was your
but
question,
for
right?
approval, it's got to be.
No, so I'm just writing down what
Oh.
you said, and then we could build on that.
Okay, so range would be.
I think it should be more like There should be like the question should be like a heading.
I was
right?
just going to do that.
Right?
Yes.
What question would you paint your room, or whatever?
Don't
You-
say
or
room,
would-
house.
or-
Say house.
But not everyone has a house in New York, you know.
What
Home.
color would you like to
Your
paint
home, that's a good one, yeah.
your home?
Home.
Yeah.
I think that's too. I think that's too because it's that interior or exterior. Now we're getting into all of that. Let's say
Well, we could set it up maybe. Sorry, go on.
Well, but you can't paint a exterior of your apartment.
right. So
You
because
try,
then you're
but-
going to get people saying, "What do you?" You're going to people are going to ask you, "What do you mean, interior or exterior?"
Yeah.
I guarantee you, people will
Well,
ask
you could
that.
set it up maybe like
So-
an essay question on like a
Bedroom?
Like
What
you
color would
like maybe set it up like a scenario. Like you are going to paint your bedroom. You were given you like whatever you're going to paint your bedroom. What color are you going to and you have to decide what color you're going to paint it. Something, right? Like set it up set up an imaginary scenario instead of just giving people a list of colors. That it should be a prompt that's like a scenario that creates a scenario where you would have to choose.
You're going to paint your bedroom. Which of these colors would be which of these colors would you be okay
so we don't
with?
approve,
Which,
right?
which of these colors?
But the problem with the bedroom one is that it's individual, right? Whereas the point of the vote is that you're trying to come to consensus with a large group of people to make this decision, right? So it wouldn't make
Right.
it wouldn't make.
So
You're going to paint the White House.
Yeah, that's exactly excellent.
I actually thought about that.
White
Isn't
socks.
that funny? All right, wait. So okay, so
What color you want? White. White.
wait a minute. Well, let's think about this.
Depending on, I don't know, black. Blow it up. Fill in, blow it up.
Now the NSA really will be listening.
Would have, paint the park, something like that. But it depends. We might not do the experiment just here, right? Where's that open up?
I mean, we could actually just do, elections this year, the Republican primary. Just go around asking people, do you prefer Ron Paul, whatever the hell their other names are.
Yeah, but around here, it's going to be none. It's going to be none of the above. Everyone's going to say none.
Well,
what I mean?
we might be surprised. We
If
might
you had to
might be
choose
sur-
one,
we
you
might be
have
sur-
to choose one.
Well, we could throw Barack Obama in there, along with Hillary.
It might get
I mean,
zero votes
but
either.
that's not likely. Right? So what is likely?
I don't
Barack
think-
Obama
I
against.
think that's too loaded. I think it's too. I don't think that we're going to get a good sense of
Right.
the method because it's the outcome is already sort of predetermined. We already know, you know what I mean? It's
Well, we might be surprised.
So what?
But obviously, it's just one experiment that we could run over the course of 3 hours and see what happens. It's not like It's not that we don't have to think of each of these. I mean, we could do a dozen of them.
So, given the list of colors, indicate which color you would use would you approve to paint the White House with?
how about if we asked it, which would you choose as the national color?
National color.
If the country could be represented by one color, which one would you pick? That would work.
Yeah, that's kind of like pick our team color.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's already red, white, and blue, right? Yeah.
Right, but we're not going to. But
Light purple.
we're going to give them a choice.
Yeah. See, but
Which
I
of
was
these
thinking-
colors would you be okay with?
but I think, but what I was saying before is that you might not, if we have a prompt that's a heading, we wouldn't have to change these at all, right?
Right.
The prompt could just be the prompt could be completely separate from each, and the wording. I mean, for each, please indicate whether or not you approve. It's like the United States is going to pick its official color for. Or whatever. We're gonna choose our team mascot for the 2012 Olympics. Please choose. Please, it's gonna pick its mascot for the 2012 Olympics. That's it. And then for
What-
each,
what
please
do you
indicate
have
whether
there?
you
Lentils and
approve.
rice.
Yes.
Like one? Would you guys like
actually.
one?
No, thank you.
I would like a little lentils and rice.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks.
You're good?
I'm good.
Sorry, you were saying?
That's right. No, that's it.
Disruption.
Right? Then we wouldn't have to. Then we wouldn't have to.
Yes.
Change this wording if we have a. Is there a space for like a prompt like that?
We
Oh,
could put
that's
it on.
good.
That's
Yeah.
not a problem. We could do. So forget about it. So right now we're gonna test. So we're testing right now. Just to remind, we're testing the application right now.
Yeah.
And then we're testing the methods. Make sure the application works.
Yeah,
correctly. So we also need to test the visual, how people interact with the application.
Yeah.
So of course, we're at that stage where we're going to modify the application itself. So yeah, no, for sure we could put it in the heading.
Okay. Cool.
I think currently there might be room right now. I just haven't looked at the app in a while.
Okay. Well, then we have to decide then what we want to.
But is that what we're going to... Yeah, I think a heading would be good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Cecilia?
Yeah, I like that.
I think so
idea.
too, because then we could leave this.
Somewhat generic.
Yeah, we could leave this very generic, and then leave all of the kind of contextualization, detail stuff in the prompt.
Okay.
Right, and the prompt would stay the same, and then just a different screen would pop up,
Right.
with the voting method under it. I don't know. I mean, I'm just imagining it like, I don't know. I mean, I teach language courses. Like in a language course, you set up people are supposed to have a conversation about something. You just set up a scenario. Like you meet up with a long lost friend that you haven't seen in 10 years outside the train station. Like, what do you say? And that's a prompt for a conversation,
Right.
It'd be like, you're choosing a mascot for the 2012 Olympics, for the country for the 2012 Olympics.
I was just
period.
thinking of that one
Yeah.
too. Yeah. So can we start to narrow that down a little bit? What would our prompt question be?
Yes, let's do that.
So we agree on the prompt, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Prompt. Yay! I got to check the app.
What if we were sticking with the Olympics idea? Instead of choosing the country, say, if you could choose a city within the U.S., because people are more apt to have an answer ready for that. They care a little bit more if it's going to be within the U.S. and say, and then just pick 5 cities. Which one of the cities would you like to see the next Olympics held in the U.S.?
Yeah. Cities is a good one.
So which city should host the next Olympics?
Yeah.
Actually, it might be interesting just to ask basic factual questions about things, and to see when, right? It'd be like people, like for instance, just a basic kind of geography question. What is the biggest city in the United States? And then some multiple choice answer.
What is the biggest one?
What's the biggest city? Just ask basic kind of geography questions. What's the biggest city in the United States by population? And then give them a multiple choice of like 5 plus a write-in, right? And then see whatever. Obviously, people may or may not know the answer.
But how is that going to tell us which voting method works best?
We might, one of them might get the wrong answer, and one of them might get the right answer. Right? By the approval method, we might find that the majority ends up with the right answer, whereas we might not find that under plurality.
I'm very confused.
Yeah, I see.
I don't
Well,
understand how
it's
that
just
works.
a simple.
Testing the correctness of people's memory.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a simple. It's a question about fact, right? How many branches of government are there in the United States? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, if under plurality, people say, most people say 4 or whatever 2. What I'm saying is that you might get the right answer under a different method and get the wrong answer under plurality, which would show that plurality is the worst, is not working. I don't know what it would show actually.
No, it would show that the way memory
Can we try
functions
that as an
for-
experiment right now?
Okay.
Will it work? No.
I don't know. I don't know if it would work actually, but the idea. I mean, it's kind of like the idea. It's like a
No,
crowd.
it wouldn't work right now.
It's a crowd. Well, we're all biased, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's.
We all know the answer.
Yeah. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see just a basic factual question with what ended up. Was there a method that made it more likely to get that for a group of people to come up with the right answer?
Right, because memory is not usually is not yes or no. Sometimes you feel fuzzy.
you see,
You're like not no, I'm not really sure, somewhat sure, pretty sure, really
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not grasping it. My brain is having trouble.
Well, if you just had a basic factual question about things and we didn't have access to Wikipedia at the present moment or Google, and you just had to ask some people, like, how do I get to the World Trade Center from here? And I just started walking around asking people, and then I asked 10 people, and 3 of them didn't know, and 2 of them told me go south, and 3 of them told me go north. The majority of people are telling me to go north, right? Which may be the right answer, I guess, from here. Right? So you did a survey to find out what the right answer is. The question is, will the majority have the right answer?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, what you're saying is
Okay.
making sense.
Okay.
I'm just not sure how it relates to what we're trying to determine.
Oh, because I guess the question would be, is there a method that's more or less likely to give you the right answer, to let the people come up with the right answer from the majority?
But
Is there-
selecting a president or selecting any elected official, who says what's the right answer is? I mean, that's the thing.
Well,
It's
that's
like,
true.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, that's my problem with it. Is like, well, the right answer is the one that the people want.
Sure, yeah. But I think that's a good point. But I think maybe asking just a basic factual question might tell us more about the method itself,
Right.
rather than what people want.
Right. You know,
Well,
what methods
I don't
would
know.
lead to a better conclusion, better answer? With yes or no, north, south, or maybe I feel good about north, I feel better about south. Giving a number to that instead of saying yes or no. Giving a number, I feel I'll give you a 3 on the south, I'll give you a 4 on the north. And then you take all these and then you see which one would lead to a better conclusion. However,
Can we use that as
that'll
one
be-
of our models?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
mean,
think we
it's
should
only
use
just a
that as
matter
one
of
of our
putting the prompt.
models.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can try it. Yeah. Basic
Because I
factual
think I
question.
would need to see that in black and white because I'm not as analytical as you apparently are.
I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know either if it would work. It just occurred to me.
I
but-
would love to see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the idea behind crowdsourcing, It's like, not everyone, like, if you ask 10 people, or the more people you ask, maybe the more likely you are to get a right answer. Maybe. I don't know. Never mind.
So then, so our factual question, what would our factual question be? How many Supreme Court justices are there?
That would be fun. It could be anything, really. Although that's probably one most people will not know.
Most people don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I mean, are there 1, 2, 3, 9 or 9? Right?
There's
Yeah,
9.
9. Okay, so for categories, we have colors, pets, candidates,
Or even
cities.
how many representatives are there in the
Basic-
House, or how
basic
many
factual
senators are
questions.
there, or how many,
Yeah.
Any of those questions I think would be good for a factual question.
Yeah, definitely.
I would still love to get the other one solved, the other one figured out.
Which
the,
one?
The less factual question.
Such as...
Well, the one we were talking about was, colors, cats, dogs,
Yeah,
Pepsi,
yeah.
Okay.
Coke,
Well, but that just made me think, like, what's a non-factual question we can ask? Something that would have to do with actual preferences. I mean, you can do things like movies. What was the best, right? Because this is
Right.
the Oscars, right? That's what the Oscars are all based around. I think they use approval voting in the Oscar process somewhere. But, like, what was the best movie this year?
How do they vote with the Dancing with the Stars? Is that still happening?
I
Show?
don't know. Isn't that just, like, you text message them or
I
something?
think that's, you just text your answer in. What about
No, I was thinking maybe we could use.
cars? Cars, what's your favorite car? How about that?
Cars would be a good one.
We
Although
list-
in New York City, there aren't that many car drivers.
It doesn't matter. They don't have to drive the car. All they have to do is see the car.
Yeah.
You know,
Cars is a good one.
So you could list like Mercedes or Chevy. How about Mercedes, Chevrolet?
Toyota.
Datsun. Datsun. Remember that? Datsun. No.
Datsun car? Oh, Datsun. Yeah.
A Datsun.
I was
my
only thinking
God.
of the dog.
I was like, a long time ago. Anyway.
Or wait. God, this is freaking hard,
I mean, we
man.
could actually just do. Toyota would be other ones, Honda, right, the Japanese ones. But we could also do
Volvo.
actual races, right?
Races.
We could do election scenarios. It's like the presidential race is going to be this year. The polls, actual professional pollsters do this kind of what they call the generic ballot all the time. Would you prefer the Democrat or the Republican or something else? Often they don't even ask something else. They'll just say, do you prefer the Democrat or the Republican? And this they consider is like a scientific question to ask, right? The generic, what they call it, the generic ballot, they call it. So we could just do a generic ballot, like Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Green, Conservative, Independent, something else. Right? Which is just party.
Doesn't
Why not?
parties. I like it. I mean, I think.
Who would you like to see?
And then, but then for approval,
The 5 major
they
parties.
could say, I would be happy with any of them, or happy with none of them, or happy with three of them.
I'd be happy with the Green or the Democrat or the Independent, but not the Republican or the Libertarian.
Right. That'd be interesting to see. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Actually. I would like
Okay,
parties.
so for approval, I think that would work well.
Yeah.
So we would have the Dems, the Rethugs, the Libertarians,
Greens.
the Greens, the Working Families, and how about one more? 1, 2,
Independent.
3, 4, 5. Oh, Independent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Is that a good?
Yeah. Yep.
And Communist. Should we put Communist
You
in
put
there?
although the Communist Party has already
How about
endorsed
socialist?
Barack Obama.
How about Socialist?
Have they?
Yeah. They endorsed Obama in 2012 last year, the Communist Party.
Oh, goody.
And they got a lot of flack from their more militant rank and file.
So should we put Socialist in there?
I could. Is there a limit to the number of slots there can be for?
No,
No.
there's no limit.
Do you want to just leave it with these 6?
I mean, we could.
I don't care. Seriously, I really don't.
So there was one concern: if we go beyond the screen, people won't even bother to look at.
Scroll. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
yeah,
you could fit
this is actually okay.
good amount of candidates.
We've spent how much time discussing this, and then we're back to actual political parties after all of that. My
Came
God.
back around. Of course, parties.
Duh. Okay, so please rate each from 1 to 5. Yeah, that would work too. And
Well,
then
I would
please
like-
select your top. I think that's perfect.
Ours
God
would work
damn
too.
it.
I would also like to test this one though.
Which
North or south, like asking for directions. Well, I'm curious to what would be the best way to ask the question.
As our factual.
directions to a specific place.
Yeah, to a specific place to get in directions. Do I go north? Do I go south?
Sure.
Directions to. Should we do?
I think we could write maybe an article and get attention to what we're doing.
Okay.
If something interesting comes out of it, I think that would be interesting. A better way to ask a question for directions.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
in New York. I don't know. It could
Okay.
be interesting to see the result.
Also, if you need to pray to Mecca, which way's east?
Right.
It is one of the 5 times a day. You are a conservative Muslim. It's one of the 5 times a day you have to pray, but you don't know which way's east. Which way's east? Or something, I don't know. So we have a lot already. Colors, pets, candidates, cities, basic factual questions, cars, political parties, directionality.
So,
And we just
which
need-
one are we going to do first?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think we should do the political parties first.
Political parties. So, unfortunately, right now I still have to code the names, hardwire the names I don't have an outlet provided. I have an outlet provided only for the choices, for the candidates or colors we could put in. But for like for the prompt, I have to hardwire.
What does that mean, hardwire?
So I have to
Go into the code and type
go
it
into the code, type it in, and recompile it,
Oh, okay.
and then. But I will create an option where we can actually create that in there. So, and so there is an admin menu where you load all the candidates or whatever, and then I don't have to recompile it every time.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'll make an option for that. Actually, it shouldn't be that complicated.
Okay.
So never mind. Forget about it.
All right.
That was pointless.
Sounds good.
Can we recap for just a second?
Yep.
Sure.
So we're going to have 3 different models, for lack of a better word, of voting. 4 different?
Because we want
So,
to.
okay, so
plus plurality.
no, that's not what I meant. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
mean testing. I didn't mean,
Oh, wow.
I meant the ways in which we test the system. We're going to have 3 different ways of testing the system. Is that right? We're going to have the political parties as one way. We're going to have the factual question as
scenarios.
another
3
way,
scenarios.
and then we're going to have the direction as the third way.
We have a few. I mean, we could vote on these things that we have. Or, I don't know.
But which method will we use?
Right.
Yeah,
The scenarios. We'll call these scenarios, okay? Can we agree on that?
So we want to have scenarios, and we want to bring the scenarios to the next meeting, and hopefully get a quorum on them. Is that what we want to do? I just feel like we should have something come of this meeting.
Okay. So
I always envision a quorum being something that somebody could, use in order if they're challenging a decision that was made. So I don't see the quorum as inhibiting us from coming to consensus on something.
So can we come to
Oh, yeah.
consensus
Yeah.
on something?
I think so, yes.
Then
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
do it.
All right.
Yes.
Let's.
I particularly like the candidates.
Parties? Or the
Can we?
candidates? Parties, you mean?
The parties, the political parties as one of our choices.
I like that
Do
too.
we have consensus?
I like that.
Okay. That's perfect.
Let's rank them. Let's rank our top 3.
Okay.
There's a factual question. I I brought up the factual question, but it doesn't have to be in there. But it would be interesting.
But
I think I would like to have the factual question in there because I think it's piqued my curiosity.
See what happens with
Yeah.
that.
so since we're looking for 3, and there's 3 of us here, I'm going to choose mine.
Okay.
The directional.
Okay, good.
That's
Yeah,
it.
you want the directional?
I would like
Okay.
to test that.
Okay.
So, but that would be the directional one would have to be.
I don't know what it's going to be yet.
It would have to be. Well, it would have
I'll
to be
test.
relative. It would have to be relative to wherever you're standing with the thing,
Right.
right?
Right.
So if
Well,
we're
I guess we could choose a landmark.
yeah,
Yeah, like the Empire State Building or
but it
the
would
Battery
be, but the
Park
answer would be
or-
different if you're standing in Times Square versus in Zuccotti Park, right?
Right. So the experiment can only be done, I guess, where you're standing.
Unless
You can't move, right?
Yeah. Well, unless it was like something that was outside New York, right? It was like which direction is how do you get to Washington D.C. from here? What direction?
Right.
It's gonna be the same no matter where you are in New York.
Right.
how is that going to affect
Like
our?
How to get
Because
to
we
the
have to give them a choice of
Washington
answers.
Monument or whatever.
Yeah. North, south, east, west, right?
Take the bridge.
Right. So
Swim in
it
the
would have to
river.
be. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost. I mean, the directionality one. I mean, in that case, it's almost just like a factual question then.
It is a factual question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a factual question.
All right.
But it could have. Actually, it's not because any potentially any answer could be right. I mean, you could go the other way and then wind up around the world.
Well, like if you were going to say pretty much,
Yeah.
pretty much, we're
What
always,
if it went the quickest way, right?
we're always
Yeah.
going to be south of the cloisters. You could say where? Can you tell me which way is the cloisters?
Yeah.
North, south, east, or west?
They might not know what the cloisters are, though.
Actually, you go in any direction, and you'll wind up somewhere.
Or
You'll hit it
how
eventually.
about which bridge do I take to get to Kennedy Airport, or which bridge, which tunnel do I take to get to New Jersey, or
Yeah.
I don't know, which bridge do I take to get to New Jersey? All right.
But that's not a factual question anymore. That's like
That's
well, what time is it? Right? Is there a lot of traffic on the bridge right now? Or maybe
Yeah.
I won't.
All right. Well, you pick.
I mean, yeah, but the
You want-
direction one is it's. I mean, depending on how you word it, it's a factual one.
I'll think of that
All
one.
right, cool.
So, yeah, it's complicated now since we're thinking about it.
So we got party. You're gonna do parties, directions.
Let's do parties first. We'll do the factual one, and then there's issues with the directional.
What's our factual question going to be, Tim?
I don't know. It could be anything, right? I think it's almost arbitrary. It's well, I don't know. Should it be a difficult question? Should it be an easy question?
Should we
I think
political, apolitical?
Yeah. I mean, how many branches of government are there? I mean, a surprising number of people don't actually know the answer to that question.
But. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. How many branches of government are there? And we can give them 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
I like that one. Let's do that.
But then it's like, please indicate whether or not you approve of this answer.
Yeah, but that's okay. See, that's
Top
where it gets
three.
weird. How do you
Two,
ask
three.
the approval?
Then the prompt would have to be.
No, because it'll be a 1 to 5. You approve this answer, you could.
Yeah.
So the approval only requires that you make one selection.
Yeah.
It doesn't require you to make.
No, approval, if you're going to say no, you have to click no, right?
You have to click no. That's according to who was the
I
expert.
have
on
to-
approval
That's what
voting.
I said last week.
I have to see what I did.
Okay, I think
They're
that's
based on K's model.
Yeah, I think that's how you.
Okay.
If I remember the
That was the conversation,
yeah.
and that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay, I guess that's why I was having trouble with the factual thing is with approval. It's- I happen to know what the answer is, so why am I going to select any of those other things?
you're not. I mean, some people.
I'm not going to select any of those other
Yeah,
things
yeah.
because I know that the only one answer is correct.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you
So-
know it, but if you don't know it, like,
Which of these answers would be okay with you for how many branches of government are there? It doesn't,
it
it
doesn't make
work.
sense. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I guess that only makes sense if if you don't know the answer. Right? It's like how many lentils are there in this cup? You know, we don't know that, but we know that we can find out just by counting them. But before that, we can say there's between 10 and 20, there's between 20 and 50, there's between 50 and 100, there's between 100 and 200. Right?
Tim, I'm sorry. I don't think a factual question is going to work for our purposes.
Fair enough.
I just don't.
maybe the approval.
Unless you can try to convince me otherwise. I don't see how it's going to work. We can do it, but I'm not sure it's worth our time.
All right. Fair enough. If I can come up with a good example, I'll try and
Definitely.
convince you. Obviously, we still have time.
Yeah. Is there another one we could pick?
I think pets is a good category because pets are just as good as candidates. We can even do funny
I
ones.
think pets are
like,
better than candidates.
Do we want to
Yeah.
ask which pets they like, or which pets they have, or which
What
pets
should
they...
be our country's
The
official
national
pet? Yeah.
That's great. Let's do that. Which pet should be our national pet? Obviously, dog, cat, horse. Dog,
snake.
cat, horse, snake, frog, rat.
Hamster.
Then
Frog.
we could do like polemical ones, like the Democratic Party is going to be choosing its mascot. What should the Democratic Party's mascot be? Rat, snake, and just like other things like
Skunk.
cockroach.
Frog, rat. But also, if possible,
A New York cockroach.
Stefan, can we mix up the? I'm not sure it would matter all that much, but can we? In other words, can we not have the Dem and the Republicans the top two? Put Working Families Party as the top.
I think we should
choice.
randomize that.
Randomize. That
Yeah.
is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can randomize it.
But
Yeah,
mean, but
that's
you
fine.
could, but you
I
could
know,
just,
I know.
you could just randomize it before you enter them in, right? You could just put 5 names in a hat and just choose them, and
Yeah.
then just write them
Yeah.
in that way, right?
Yes.
So if you
Could-
randomize for each voter for it to be different,
No.
or
I think it
be the same for each
It has to
voter?
be the same order for every single voter.
Exactly.
On every single in each.
Exactly.
so then
Each
it's just
one.
the way you put it in.
Yeah.
In the order the way you put it in
Yeah.
is the order
Just
it will appear.
randomly
So we just-
select them.
So we have to randomize them before we enter them into the.
So dog and cat are not going to be at the top of the list.
Exactly.
Frog would be number 1.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You can just do that with names in a hat.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Simple enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. The national pet.
The national pet, and it
Party.
has to be pet, not animal.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be the national pet.
Because people are invested in their pets.
Exactly.
Party affiliate.
Who's going to work on the language?
I'm going to work on the
Cecilia.
language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
National pet.
National pet party affiliation.
I'm going to drop my directional because there are some complications. Like,
Okay.
Okay, so when choosing, I'm writing this down as I think of it. When choosing,
by the way,
If choosing.
I have an interesting paper I want to share with everyone.
Yeah.
Just so
the national
like some time.
pet.
All right.
I think it's a pretty interesting discovery. And it's a pretty good paper. We can work on the language now, or
We could also do another one.
should we do something that's like something with occupy? Something that's I don't know.
There's a question you mean?
Yeah, something that's related to maybe so like your favorite principle of solidarity or something, or your favorite list of grievances in the order of preference, or what is most important to you.
Could
That
be
list of
something
grievances.
specifically Occupy related.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to, but
Yeah. That's a good idea. Think about it.
What? Sorry.
so I was thinking we could like so we have a list of grievances. I was saying vote for your your most
favorite
perfect
grievance?
right. Your favorite grievance.
Hi.
Sorry
How
to
you doing?
interrupt. You guys know about what happened today and the ongoing project?
No.
This is the cultural occupation of Liberty Square. It's a cultural event that happens at Liberty Square every day between noon and 2. There's food. There's usually there's either a teach-in or today there was some costumes. It's kind of a play. Happens every day.
Okay.
All right? So
Okay.
that's
All
all.
right,
Great,
thanks.
Thank you.
Cool.
Right. Cool.
So, what were you saying about grievances?
So I was saying maybe we should do something or OWS related. And so since we have a list of grievances, we could choose your favorite or vote for your favorite.
Which of the
grievance.
which of the grievances would you like to see addressed, kind of thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Could do something like that. Or just like, what should we focus on? What should Occupy focus on? Something.
Right. From the list of grievances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it depends where I think we're going to
Well, that would have to be related to.
Yeah. I mean, it depends where we're going to be asking people, where we're going to be conducting it, right?
Right.
Because it wouldn't make sense to do that.
At a rally, maybe.
Yeah. We'll have a lot of people. I think one of our best bets might be just Times Square to get just a random sample. Like we get a really good random sampling of the national population.
I love the idea of Times Square because of that staircase.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are just sitting there,
Yeah. Although a lot of,
screaming to be interviewed.
oh, yeah.
You know?
Although a lot of those people are Europeans. Although I guess it doesn't matter technically.
It
Although,
doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. For the pets, at least, it wouldn't matter. Party affiliation, I don't know. They might skew our sample since they'll be like, but this is Democratic Party. So it's
Well,
not Democratic
there might be
Party
a lot
where
of
I come
Europeans,
from.
but there's also a lot of American tourists.
That's true too. Yeah.
Right.
So we could ask them in advance. Are you an American voter?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be fun.
Like a filter.
Cool. Anything else on this? So we'll work on some language. We still have we're going to have another. I'm not going to have the iPad by next Sunday. It's going to be after next week. I'm going to be getting it,
No problem.
and then we'll have to do initial testing, which might take a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and with tweaks. Well, we could do like an initial test, like, I don't know. If I get it this Sunday. If I get it by the 14th, which is 10 days from now, we'll have it for a meeting on the 18th. And then maybe could do it, and then I don't know how long it would take you to upload it. You'll have to upload the thing, so I'll have to give it to you. You can just upload it, and then...
Oh, don't plug it into your computer.
Ever.
You can plug it into your computer, just don't plug it into a computer that has iTunes.
Okay.
Otherwise, it just makes it a
Politics
little
and
bit
electoral
more difficult.
reform.
I will not plug it into anything.
It assigns a number, and then makes it more complicated to upload it.
Okay, well, I won't
Sorry?
even turn it on. I'll just give it to you
3
before...
o'clock on
maybe
Sundays.
I'll just open it and just make sure it's there.
By then I'll have my laptop, my Mac.
Okay,
You
cool.
need a Mac.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll have it by the 14th. I mean, if you wanted to get it earlier, I could meet up with you sometime later next week, like Thursday, or if I get it on Wednesday, I can meet up with you one of those days and hand it off to you if you wanted to do that for Sunday. But yeah, that's up to you.
Yeah,
But that's obviously...
when you get it, just
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
We can figure it out then.
we'll see based on schedule.
Cool. So we'll work on some language for the prompts. Also this week I'll try and work on paragraphs for the info pamphlet to go along with it.
Right.
I am waiting to hear. Did you guys hear about Marie Colvin, the journalist who was killed? Did I tell you about this? Did you hear about this? The journalist who was killed in Syria? You guys didn't hear about
I heard
this?
about a journalist, a male, not a female.
There was a
Female?
French photojournalist
Okay.
and a female journalist. Works for the London Times, but is an American. Both were killed
In homes, right?
in homes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Marie Colvin was her name, and she's a friend of my. Well, I didn't know her. I'm friends with her family, and oddly, she's the only one that I didn't know in the family. She's older than I, so I knew her brother very well. I know 2 of her sisters very well, and I knew her mother very well. So they just found out, I think it was yesterday, that the Red Cross had her and are bringing her home.
Wow.
And the French photojournalist also, they have him. Because there were rumors abounding that they had buried both bodies and they were not going to be found. Although somebody said that they had placed, that one of the injured but surviving journalists had placed a GPS device on Marie's body so that they'd be able to find her if they buried her.
Wow.
But they do have her and they're bringing her home. So I'm kind of waiting to hear what the arrangements are going to be and whatnot. So, and I'm just telling you this because I may not be, if I have to miss a meeting, that's going to be the reason.
Okay.
So they said it's probably going to take a week for her to come home. And I think she got out of Syria, what's today, Sunday? I think it was 2 days ago, or maybe it was 2 days ago. They were not out of Syria, but out of Homs. She was being taken to Damascus.
Wow, crazy.
Oh, it's insane. Insane. I saw her family just on Thursday. And they didn't know at that point that her body had been recovered. So I couldn't even imagine. It just. But this was a woman who had gone places and done things that, she lost an eye in Sri Lanka. Shrapnel took her left eye. She crawled under barbed wire, getting out of Bosnia during that conflict. I mean, she interviewed Saddam Hussein. She interviewed Gaddafi. In fact, I was out taking care of a friend of mine who was unfortunately passed away. He was very sick, and I was out taking care of him before he died. And he was like, did you hear about Marie Colvin? And I said, what? What about now, Marie? So, she's always doing this crazy shit. And he goes, she's dating Gaddafi. I was like, she's dating Gaddafi? This was like 4 years ago. I was like, how do you date a dictator? Anyway, so remarkable.
They do what he says, right?
Yeah. Very carefully. But I don't know if that's true. But anyway, so remarkable woman, remarkable life, and so I want to be as involved with the family, in their funeral stuff and whatnot as I can. So if I have to take off, it'll be for that reason.
Yeah, fair enough.
As soon as you said Gaddafi, I thought about Condoleezza Rice.
Oh yeah, because
they found her picture.
That's right. He had the hots for her. Yeah. How gross is that? Ugh. Can you imagine
secret intel.
finding out that your picture is being up on the wall of Gaddafi?
Yeah. He's like always on her. He's like always like leaving cryptic anonymous messages on her Facebook page. Or
She has a
something.
Facebook page?
I don't know. Well, I'm just imagining that she does. And I'm just imagining Gaddafi.
Yeah, it would be like
hanging out on
Uday or
Facebook.
Kuze having the hots for you.
Yeah.
Oh, what time is it?
It's probably almost time to wrap it up. 4:23.
What was this other thing?
So there's two more things.
Okay.
Is it that actually? Is there anything else? I mean, did you want to
anything
talk
else.
about anything else? Okay.
No.
So I
Gesundheit.
Excuse me. Oh, wow. Sorry.
Oh, that was a...
Sorry.
so I put on the agenda discussion for fundraising for PaER activities, actions, or this experimentation, in order to avoid this 5-month waiting period in order to conduct an experiment. So I just want to bring it up for discussion. So if we were to fundraise, how does everyone feel about that?
I suck at fundraising.
No, not just the idea of it. So Jason and I we're working on these ideas in order to fundraise. We have some ideas. We want to take it like a temperature check.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would be fine with it if you wanted to.
And,
whatever. Selling T-shirts or cookies or stickers or whatever.
Shirts.
I'm a really good baker.
We're gonna have shirts.
Seriously.
There you go.
Hey.
My shirts and cookies. This is the staple of grassroots fundraising.
Right. And another concern was, now since we raise these funds under the banner OWS, right? Should we give a certain percentage of that to the general fund? You know, from the general fund we get food, we get water, we get whatever.
Good.
So that was a concern, or should we not be concerned about that?
What sort of...
Because we'd be raising money for like actions.
Yeah. I mean, you could look at it a number of different ways.
Experiments.
Just be like, oh, we'll shave off whatever, some percentage and give it to the general fund,
Right.
just as a showing, we are contributors kind of
Right.
thing. Or you could just be like, look, we're not taking money from you, which is why we're keeping it for us. Like, our contribution to the general fund is the fact that we're raising our own funding, right?
Right.
I mean, you can do it either way.
But the argument could be that we're raising under the banner of the
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So how do we?
I don't really have a strong opinion either way. Maybe after I thought about it for a while, I might. But my knee jerk right now is I think either one of those things would be fine. I approve of both.
So right now, just discussion. We're just still
That's
discussion.
an
because we're
interesting
not-
question. Yeah.
We don't have anything, but we're working on right now shirts to just that was like a report back and also. It's okay. I just want some feedback.
Yeah. Oh, I have some good shirt ideas. I actually have a.
Okay.
So maybe.
We're working with the Screen Printing Guild right now. We're trying to develop one shirt. I have the graphic on the phone, but it's
Cool.
on the phone. Okay. So
How do you develop graphics for screen printing?
yeah, Photoshop.
And then what? You just have
And
an
then
outline?
you print it on a transparent. You have one color, black. You print it on a transparent paper, and then you use this emulsion that you put on the screen, and then you pretty much burn the area. So it burns. So you shine a light on the emulsion after it dries, and wherever the light hits, it solidifies. Wherever the light doesn't hit, with where your drawing is, and then you can wash that off with some solution.
So it's just basically just like a stencil?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Interesting.
Sophisticated stencil. Doesn't move around.
Uh-huh.
Stays put. So
All right, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Still, it's not a proposal, but we
Yeah.
don't have anything developed yet. Once we have something developed, we're going to bring it as a proposal and to work out flesh out the different concerns.
Excellent.
And I was doing, finally I got the chance to do the research this was based on your research of the voting experiments about how the different mathematical organizations vote.
Oh yeah, I remember
Different
that.
societies.
Because you were saying like all these math people were using
Right.
approval.
Right.
So on the MAA website, I found this article by Devlin Angle. Devlin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, it's Angle.
know, right?
as in Sharon. Remember her?
So it's a 5-page article. It's so I found a lot of articles, but I found this one because it was simple, and it had some great
Oh, this
hypothetical
looks really interesting.
experiments,
Yay.
and it also talks about. Too bad Isaac is not here because it also talks about one of his experiments, voting methods that he brought up.
The strategic vote thing.
I forgot what he called it. He called it a. But it's in here.
I have it in here.
So I only read this once, but it's fascinating. Anyway, the important part of it is that there is actually a theorem out there, a mathematical proof that there does not exist a fair
Oh,
system.
Arrow's theorem, right? Is that Arrow's
I don't
theorem?
know. I don't know whose theorem, but there's a theorem there.
I think that's Arrow's theorem. I just came across that.
That there is
You
no
cannot.
fair.
If you have, I got to see the assumptions. What is it based on? But if it's more than 2 candidates, you cannot devise a system to make the system fair. In other words, if you devise a model, you could find another one that makes that model unfair as far as voting. So you cannot devise a system that would make it absolutely fair. However, you could compare different models to see which one is fairer. Like statistically, this one, if you use this model, you would,
Well, that sucks.
most of the time it would be fair. So the notion of devising a model,
There's no 100% foolproof.
Yeah.
there is no model.
Yeah,
There's a
I've
theorem.
never heard it as fair. I've heard it as ideal. There is like I think it's Arrow's. Hang on here. Arrow's. I've heard it's Arrow's theorem. I think
It's
And
in
it
here.
says there is no ideal voting method.
Well, so again, I have to do more research. Look at what the theorem is testing. I mean, what is the hypothesis? What is it?
Yeah, here it is. Arrow's theorem.
Arrow's theorem. Okay.
Where is it?
Third page.
1, 2, 3.
After sadly, then all right. So say what? I should have
Oh, I
stressed
should
that Arrow's
stress that
theorem.
Arrow's theorem doesn't just.
No fair system can possibly exist. Period. Proven.
Yeah.
Mathematical proof.
Oh, I can't wait to read this. It looks really good.
It is, and the language is very. It's not like I've read other articles that are just
Over
they
your
have these
head.
terms.
Yeah.
It's too much math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the math. I could deal with the math. It's just the terminology. You
Oh.
got to go to a dictionary. and see,
Oh, like what? Like Fortis count and Bayesian regret or something like this.
Something
These are
like-
the things
right.
that like
Well,
always
you
throw me
gotta-
off
I have
reading
to-
all this crap.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple and it's
Uh-huh.
straightforward.
Oh, cool.
And it's, but anyway, I only read it once, but it was interesting and it also compares the different voting methods.
Oh, that's-
Some of ours are in here,
Cool.
and also others.
Excellent.
But it's a good article.
Good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to this.
Excellent.
But you should have printed it double-sided. Oh, you can print double-sided, can you?
I was at Staples. Yeah, I can't print. Sorry for the environment. I apologize.
But now I have all this extra scrap paper.
Do you know how much?
You can write it
Okay.
down.
Yeah.
Do you know how old this is?
I was looking at it. I actually chuckled to myself when I saw this.
It's probably
Sorry. I apologize.
12 years
Sure.
old. That's how much scrap paper I have.
You're still working on stuff from the 90s?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the 90s. It's the early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah.
But it's.
So I'm
I'm not in
give
need of scrap paper.
I'm going to give a report back on the theorem.
Okay, great.
I'm going to look at the theorem and see what it.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
We can put this on our body of knowledge.
Excellent.
But yeah.
Great.
The light in here has just gotten weird. Or is
So
it my imagination?
we have a website. We have a wiki.
For the wiki, I haven't been there yet. You told me to do it.
We
And I
have a
didn't do
wiki.
it.
Do we want to use it for research? Do we want to not use it? I mean,
What's our website again?
so PaERcom. PaER, PaERcom.net.
.net.
You still need a web designer?
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I can't make it happen.
No problem. So we have a wiki and what was I was going to say something. So the website was created based on the concerns that people raised. Currently they're not attending anymore. So
Yeah, it's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
It's just that people have like raised concerns and things happen or don't happen, and then they disappear, and then it's like, okay, now what are we doing?
Right. So, you know, so we don't need a website to have a wiki. I could have set up a wiki separately. But, you know, we create a site to address everyone's needs, right?
Yeah.
But those people are not attending, so what do you guys want to do with the site? Should we just leave it for now since it's up?
Leave it for now. I think we're going to start getting a lot of data once we start running this thing. There's going to be a ton of data from this, right? I mean, it's going to,
Yeah, we're going to have a ton of that.
we could just leave it there and it could be a place where we just publish that data to say, hey, by the way, we've been accumulating all this data, and we're only 5 people, and
Right.
you know, we could use some extra eyes or whatever. What do you think? We're looking for suggestions or whatever. Just put out feelers like that.
Okay. So, how do you feel about that?
Good.
Keep the site?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep the site?
yeah, definitely.
All right, so we're keeping the site for now. Since I already paid for it for a whole year.
Yeah, you already did it. It's already up, so you might as well.
And, all right, I think that, is there anything else?
No, I got
I
nothing.
think that concludes our agenda, right?
Yeah.
Any announcements? March of Tides?
Huh? What?
March of Tides? Is that
Ides,
what you-
Ides.
My Ides.
Ides of March.
Ides of March. Ides of March. Tides. I don't know.
March of
Yes,
Tides. Isn't that a
it's-
movie?
It's beware.
Beware the Ides of March. Yes.
Beware of the Ides of March.
No, that was the Prince of
The
Tides.
Prince of Tides. Yes. Okay, cool.
Well, that concludes. So meeting in next Sunday.
Yeah.
Next
Same
Sunday.
time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any actions this week?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
I didn't look at the calendar today yet.